Okay, all kinds of goodies today. So I just want to talk about mindset. I had no idea what I was going to talk about until this morning. I sat and thought about it for a long time, and I'm just kind of reviewing in my mind stuff I had talked about. And I know we've talked about mindset stuff before. We might not have called it that, but the mindset, we talk about no limits. You can accomplish what you want to accomplish. It's all here for you to get in life. In this store, if there's a goal you want, you can get it here, right? And somebody may not have done it before, but you can get it. You become what you think about. We've talked about that before. Whatever you put in your mind, that's what you chase. So you think about those things. That's what you get out of life, right? You think about chasing Pokemon. Guess what? I'll catch some Pokemon, right? You become what you think about. It's just the way life works. But here's a cool one. I don't remember if I ever talked about this or not. I talked about this with my kids. You see what you believe, right? You can believe whatever you believe. Those are the things you find out in life. I'll put it in perspective for you. Anybody bought a new car? You bought a new car not too long ago, right? Before you bought your car, did you notice how many of your cars were on the road?
Oh my God, yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Like before you even thought about buying that car? After you bought it, did you notice more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like before I got that F-150, I never thought about how many F-150s were on the road. I buy an F-150, I'm like, oh my gosh, every F-150 on the road is red like mine.
I have the exact neighbor of like right down the block has the same exact car, same year, same color, everything.
Yeah. All of a sudden you start noticing things because you never paid attention to it before because you never believed that wasn't in your mindset to believe on what that wasn't a belief that you could have that, right? All of a sudden you have it, and you're like, oh my goodness, look at that, right? It works with anything, if there's something that you believe in, you start seeing those things in life, right? You believe, oh man, all smokers are gonna die tomorrow. Guess what? You start seeing all these smokers everywhere when you look, or if you're trying to quit smoking, you all of a sudden see, man, look at all these people that smoke, Your mindset goes towards what you believe in. Before, you never noticed that people sit outside and smoked at all, right? That's just the mindset. Not picking on smokers, just using it as an example. Never say you can't. You always find a way to say, how can I? This is where I'll throw in the story about my wife. My wife wanted nothing to do with me when I first met her, right? We were at a dance at college, and I saw her. I don't think I ever saw her on campus before. We're at the dance, and I saw her. I'm like, that's the girl I'm going to marry. To put it in perspective for that, my buddy was sitting next to me, and he's like, you're so dumb. I'm like, nope, that's the one. And he's like, you haven't even talked to her yet. And I said, I'll be right back. So I went and talked to her. 2 minutes later, I'm back there sitting next to my buddy. He's like, what happened? I said, she doesn't like me yet.
Yes.
And he's like, what? I said, I asked her to dance and she said, no. Okay, I see where this is going. This is a challenge now. He gives you a challenge. We'll see what happens, right? And I told him she doesn't like me yet. He was like, you're so dumb. That's all he kept telling me is, you're so dumb. Stop it. Just leave it alone. Nah. Next day, go to the lunchroom, grab my lunch. Where is she? I'm finding her. I went and I sat right next to her. She's sitting there reading a book all by herself in a booth. Sat right next to her. She's like, can I help you? No, just thought I'd spend some time with you. So like, that's weird. Yeah.
You got stuff for you on display.
Oh, heck yeah. I knew what I wanted, right? I knew where I was going. I knew what I wanted. What you see is what you believe. I saw my future. I believed it was going to happen. Months later, after stalking her at lunch and following her, knowing when her schedule is so that I would eat lunch when she ate lunch. I mean, yeah, stalkery? No, I knew what I wanted, right? She never said no. She just said, you're odd. She never said, I don't like you, get away. Otherwise I would have. She never said anything like that. Frankly, I think she enjoyed torturing me. But that was, I have yet to get that out of her. But Even the dorm mother sent her to be a watch, like a person who watches the dorms when students come in because they had only open dorms at certain times, and sat her at a desk outside my door because I happened to mention to her, I like her. And she's like, I'll help you along. And she stuck her outside my door. Right? So, yeah. So when you have that vision, it's kind of funny how things work towards your goal. You see what you believe, other people see what you believe. Right? It's not just you. Other people will see what you're after. They know. They'll help you along the way. You'll be amazed how many doors and windows of opportunity will open along the way. Anyway, long story short, I called her one day, said, you want to see a movie? She said yes. I was so shocked that she said yes. I expected her to say, no, I'm busy. I got to wash my hair. She said, yeah, sure. What are we going to go see? I had zero preparation for this. Zero. I'm like, I don't even know what's playing. What do you mean, what do you want to see? I'll call you right back. Right? That's how unprepared I was. I did not think that she was going to say yes. I just thought, well, I'm going to bug her again. And she's like, yeah, sure. And she tells the story. He called me, and he was so unprepared. He didn't even know what we were going to do. I mean, she tells the story different than I do. She's like, he had no idea what we were going to do. What kind of person does that? One who was just going through the motions and what he believed. Right? Anyway, so that's the story. You know, you don't say it can't happen, it won't happen. You say, how do I make this happen? That's what you got to do. You know, you don't live. How do you put it? You don't live the life given to you, right? Because if you just live the life given to you, you're going to be put wherever anybody else wants you. You're going to be dictated by things throughout the day. Your attitude is going to be dictated by things throughout the day. You need to live the life you want. And that's why I always talk about you got to have your reason why. If you want to live the life you want, what do you want? You have to want something, right? So I came up with the rules to success. It's a roadmap. You know what? I was thinking about this last night. A rules to success, it's kind of like our sales system, right? A customer comes in, and we greet them, you know, here's life, woo! And you're trying to help them figure out what furniture they want to buy. What do you want? Well, I don't know. Because seriously, they don't. They haven't thought about it. Someone walks up to you and says, what do you want out of life? You're like, I don't know. Right? Because nobody's ever helped you. But we help this customer figure out, well, in your room, do you want X, Y, and Z? Or what do you use this room for? What do you do? You know, we're asking these questions. We need to ask these questions for our life. We need to ask them for our goals here at the store, what we want from working here. We need to start asking those things. Where do you want to be? What do you want? How are you going to set it up? What's the functionality of it? Well, what's the functionality that you want out of life? What are you going to do? Where are you going to be? What's your functionality for the day? Well, how much do you want in sales today? Well, I don't know, just enough that it looks good. You won't get there. You might get lucky and get there, but you won't repeat it because you don't know how you got there. So, first thing, I'm going to say it again, and you'll probably hear me say it 10,000 more times. Have a vision. You have to have a vision of what success looks like. What does a successful day at Rooms and Rest look like? It's a day where you help lots of people. It's a day where you make some money. It's a day where you influence others to be successful. I mean, what's your vision of success here like? What's your vision for life, for success in life? I mean, you got to have a purpose. I mean, you can't just get up in the morning and come to Rooms and Rest because you hope you get paid today. Because I promise you, if you just hope you get paid today, you're going to go back to not living the life you want. You're going to live the life that you're given, and you're not going to be happy with it. Because everybody else around you is going to dictate your day. Because I have to go measure. I have to talk to my spouse about it. I'm going to have to think about it for a few days, even though I know there's only one in stock. Don't let people dictate your day. Have a purpose. Know what you're trying to get. Know your end goal. I mean, that's the easiest place to start. Where do I want to be at the end of the day? Everybody here probably knows, I want to be at $4,000. I want to do $4,000 every day. I say that repeatedly. My goal is to get to $4,000. I know my end goal. Now I need to know the steps to get there. I need to know how I'm going to get that. I break it down in my mind. Okay, well, if I have We're averaging having 4 or 5 sales a day. I know I have to get about $1,000 per sale. Number 2, roadmap to success. Chase something bigger than you. I normally used to come in and do 2,000 a day. This is before we were commissioned. I did the math. I said, boy, I need to double that. Do you know how scary it is in your mind to think, boy, I used to only do $2,000 a day. Now I need to double it? Whew. Now let's take that a step further. What if I go, I'm doing 4,000 a day. I need to do 8. It was the same thing. Right? It's a scary mentality. If I don't do 8, I'm not successful. You got to find something that scares you. If you're doing so much in sales a day and you want to do more, you're only getting so many sales or helping so many people, and you want to double the amount of people you sell to. That's a scary thing to target, because you're like, how am I going to do that? Oh my gosh. Lucky for working here, we have a team. Say, hey, I need to do this every day. Guess what? Everybody's going to believe you can, and they're going to help you focus on getting that. So chase something bigger than you, something that you haven't done yet. Make it scary big. You got to change your mindset too to self-discipline and self-accountability. What that means, I'll put it in a real easy term. Customer comes in, and you find the perfect thing for them, and they leave, and we go, that customer's an ass. I showed them exactly what they wanted, and I told them we had it in stock, and then they walked home, walked right out the door, and they said, we'll come back in a few days. Don't they understand? No, they don't. They don't understand. Why don't they understand? Because you didn't take the accountability on yourself for that customer. They're your accountability. Will some of them leave? Yeah, heck yeah, some of them. But will some of them have bought if you would have explained it a little better? If you would have detailed, look, every customer coming in, they want stuff now. And the next customer that comes in, I'm going to show them this one because I have it. And you said you needed furniture by the end of the month because you're moving in somewhere. You can go shop around town, but nobody's going to have what you want. I have what you want. You right? You could have said something similar to that. Yeah, some of them are still going to walk. They're people. We deal with people. But some of them, it was your responsibility to take it the step further. It's your accountability for once you have that customer. Once they walk into the door, you're accountable for them. That's why we keep track of them. How many were you accountable for today? Not how many did you help. Think of it that way. How many was I accountable for? Because that's the way Tom's looking at it. He's like, I was accountable to bring in this many people every day with my marketing. Our side is, he brought this many people in. I'm accountable for helping them. Teamwork, right? If you look at it as how many did I have to help today, we got a problem. How many are you accountable for? Next thing, recognize mistakes and failures and adjust and grow from them. We just talked about one. I got to go home and measure. And you start thinking, okay, I made a mistake there when they leave. That was a failure. It doesn't make you a failure. It makes that situation a failure. Right? Nobody here's a failure. The only time you fail is if you quit. When you have a failure like that, you got to think about it and adjust and grow. That's why our team atmosphere is so awesome, because when somebody feels like they did something wrong, they come up here and say, I did something wrong. I don't know what I did. Here's what happened. Guess what? You can get 5 different answers for you to think about to help you try and break down how you could do it better next time. But if you never say, hey, I made this mistake, you never come up to the desk, you never talk to Kevin, never talk to me, you never talk to Wilson, you never talk to us, say, I made this mistake, it's going to be hard to grow from it. It's going to be hard to adjust. We keep talking about people calling and wanting to cancel, and how do we talk to them on the phone? And if we never discussed as a team, how are we going to handle that? There'd be a lot more cancels. Because we learn from our mistakes, but when you bring it up to the team, we learn as a team. We grow from it. Everybody learns how to handle things there. So bring those things up and grow and adjust, learn from your mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes so that you can get better. You don't become better, you're not going to get where you want to be. Another thing is habits. Habits will create you. They will make you amazing if you're doing the right habits. But guess what? Habits will kill you. Habits will break you in half and throw you in a ditch and step on you. Right? Your habits make you who you are. So the habits we create, that's why we create the sales system. so you can do those steps. When you do those steps, those are fundamentals for good habits in sales. We don't have a script like you have to say this and that and this, because that's not really a habit. That's just a canned thing you have to say. You know, if you don't believe in it, you're not going to attach to it. You aren't going to be successful. We want you to be successful in what you do, but we want you to create good habits. That's why we have a short system of, here are the habits you need to have bigger, better sales. Let's see. Some people just need to believe they're successful because they earned it. I've heard a lot of times, yep, I just got lucky with that one. Whew! You didn't get lucky. You might have been blessed with an easy sale, but it wasn't lucky. You still earned it. You still went out, you talked to the customer. It took 10 seconds, but you still earned it. You believe you earned it. Right? It's not just luck. I believe you deserve it too. I didn't deserve that. That was too easy. Hey, dude, you work here. You earned it. You took responsibility and accountability for that customer. You earned it. It's yours. But also, in the same time, you got to believe in your failures because you earned it. It was yours. Take it and learn from it and go do it again. I say that all the time. Good job. Do it again. Even if it's a mistake. Cool. Good job. Do it again. Learn from it. Don't make another mistake. Good sale. Do it again. Right? Because that's the only way you grow. Keep doing the good things. Don't listen to naysayers. Can't do that. It's impossible. Until you watch somebody do it and you go, shit, I wanted to do that. It's not impossible. As Nelson Mandela said, I'm pretty sure it was Nelson Mandela that said, you know, nothing's impossible, or everything's impossible until somebody's done it. Of course, very true. I mean, there was a runner, Bannister, Ray Bannister, whatever his name was, and his goal, he was going to run the 4-minute mile. And this is in the 50s or 60s or something. You're like, you can't do that. You run a 4-minute mile, you'll die. You will die. And he's like, no, I'm not going to die. And he kept training for it and kept training for it. People were like, your heart will explode. You know, your liver will fall out your ass. I mean, they were telling him horrible things that were going to happen to his body if he pushed it so hard to run a 4-minute mile. Guess what? He ran a 4-minute mile and he lived. But before that, it was impossible. And now, high school students do it. I think even junior high students can run a 4-minute mile sometimes. Right? But it was impossible. You would die if you did it before. And now we got kids doing it. It was only impossible until somebody did it. So don't listen to naysayers because they're just going to tell you, no, you can't do that. Again, think, how can I do it? What do I have to do to get there? And be responsible for your own actions. You do something, it's you. If you don't take responsibility, guess what? You blame somebody else, and we're all the way back up here, not recognizing our mistakes and not growing. If you take responsibility for what you do right and what you do wrong, you'll grow from it. You'll be better. You'll hit your targets. It's just going to change your mindset, and it hurts to try and think of these things, and sometimes you don't even know you're doing it. So point it out to somebody, dude, take responsibility for that. I do that with my kids because they're little kids and they're trying to learn. Somebody leaves a banana peel on the counter. Who did this? Not me. I didn't do it. Somebody take responsibility for this. It's a mistake and you got to learn from it. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I pick it up 2 days later. There's another banana peel. Well, that's my fault for not teaching the right kid not to do that because it's the same kid doing it. Nobody else is. It was just one of them. So now I got to come down a little harder. Make them learn this is your responsibility to put that in the garbage can. I don't want gnats. I want it in the garbage can. Right? So you got to take responsibility because it's all part of the learning process and growing. It creates your belief and you become what you believe. And last thing is don't quit. You know, every successful person, you read their books, that's always like the last chapter in the book. Don't quit. Find a way to win. A great example is Kevin with his customers. He'll be at the counter forever, not really having the product quite sold yet, right? And the customer's like, oh, I'm gonna go think about it. Kevin's like, okay, yeah, you can do that. Or we can buy it today. Right? He just doesn't quit. That's how he gets those extra sales. He doesn't quit. He gets to the counter. He might just be walking this way, and he'll stop at the counter by him and start talking. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, they're actually writing it up. Because he doesn't quit. He doesn't let them walk out. They walk out, they leave, they're done. He's trying to find a way to win. Can it be annoying to the customer? Sure. But he's accountable for that customer. He's trying to find a way to win. So you can't just give up. I'm going home to measure. Cool, see ya. You can walk off to the next one to try and almost be responsible for. While they're standing at the front door, actually in their mind, still debating, and you're off, grabbing the next customer. Hey, don't give up yet. Don't give up easy. Don't quit. But that's all about mindset. I don't know if it helped anybody today or motivated anybody or moved anybody to do something, but just know whatever you want to accomplish is there. It takes time. You know, if you're going to learn from mistakes, it takes time. First you got to make the mistake, then you got to think about it, then you got to do it different the next time, right? So it takes time to learn. But it all comes down to, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? What's your goal for today? Your goal is just to be nice to people? Be nice to people. Your goal is to help somebody else? Help somebody else. But you got to figure out what your goals are and then find out where you want to be in the end. You know, I always talk about, we want to be at $1 million in sales at the end of the year. Well, then you kind of got to start there and break down what you have to do. You know, that's how I got to 4,000 a day. I figured, okay, I work 5 days a week and take $1 million, break that down by the 5 days a week. It ends up being $4,000 a day to get to $1 million at the end of the year. That's how I got it. It was like 4,100 or something like that. So that's how I broke it down. That's how I got my number. So you got to figure out your end goal, break it down backwards. I'll show you where to start, because sometimes you just have to take little steps. You know, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. You don't swallow the thing whole, right? Eat a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Those are your little steps to get to the end goal. Anyway, that's what I got today. So hopefully that helped out. Go out, make a difference, chase something. If you don't know what you should be chasing, just ask. Got a whole team of people that'll be happy to help you chase whatever you want. Cool. Go get it.